First I want to say welcome, excuse the noise, to my new subscribers. I'm doing a whip and chat today, and the subject is going to be, first let me warn you, at the end of this video, I actually filmed it, and you may or may not want to watch it, so I put it at the end. Where we live, there's a riverbed behind us, and we know that there's a national problem of homelessness due to various reasons: alcoholism, drug use, mentally ill, or people who've lost their jobs, what have you. Kind of call them the invisible people. There's an organization called the Alpha Project here in San Diego who claim they are here to help the homeless. And I'm not saying we've had people here come from the Alpha Project. I'm not saying they don't do that, but they also harass the homeless. They have, some of them are disability, but they certainly don't get enough to rent any place. They can't even rent a room. Some don't. So as they have very little. Now when they go in there to get their stuff, and that's what the Alpha Project does, they raid where they stay. Well, first of all, they gotta sleep somewhere. People aren't gonna let them sleep inside their house, right? So they go on riverbeds, what have you. I filmed them today, the Alpha Project, doing the regular raid of their spots. Now when they do that, they are not supposed to destroy their belongings. They're supposed to be able, they call the number, go get their stuff. But even if they do that, I mean, seriously, how do they prove what's theirs, right? But instead what they're doing is they're destroying it. I have got it on film where it shows they took a person's walker. I'm talking about a walker, something they need to walk with, and destroy it. They get with the police department and they have one of those vehicles, you know, that they pick up your trash in. And I got it on film showing them destroying and taking their stuff. This is not a random thing that Alpha does. They do this on a regular basis. They are not trusted among the homeless. Do not trust them because of this. I mean, they take everything, even their paperwork, everything. Now, people can argue, well, that's government property. I get it, but where do you want them to go? They gotta sleep somewhere. They're not hurting anybody. Oh, by the way, what I'm working on here is called, well, shoot, don't have a name on here. It's, I mean, there's a lot of black in here. A lot of black. Mostly black. And anyways, back to the subject. They are distrusted. Now, Obama was good. I know that the Trump was trying to take credit, but he can't take credit for it. Obama did a program to help homeless vets. A couple $1 billion just came to San Diego. It's still going on. The shelters are full, and even when they get to these programs, it still takes a while. What's burning? It smells burnt. Anyways, but we got a new house manager, by the way. Better than the old one. Anyways, it takes them a while, and they gotta have ID. If they don't have ID, they can't be helped. Well, what do you do if you're homeless? You ain't got no money. You ain't got money for that. Or you do food. Food. And then you got your homeless that are mentally ill, and there are programs to help them too. But people who are out of their luck, there's nobody to help them. And even with the programs, the existing programs, the problem is homelessness is increasing due to the high cost of living, especially here in San Diego. It'll cost you $2,000 a month for a dump in San Diego. And when these people are only getting $1,000 on disability, they can't even rent a freaking room. So it comes a choice: eating or room. If you ever are out and about and you see a motorhome, and they tend to be old, what you got there a lot of times are senior citizens. I knew such a case of an elderly gentleman who was ill, living in one of those. And when I tried to get him to get Medicare, he said he couldn't, because although he had Medicare, he didn't have a supplement that he was required to have. And it came down to the choice: eat or medical care. He would go to this place in Chula Vista. He could rent a spot there for, 3 weeks? Then he had to be gone a week. I did try to help him. I actually followed him up there one day, got him set up. The place wanted a phone number, so I let him use mine. Well, a few months later, I get a call from the Chula Vista Police Department. Now, they wouldn't tell me, they were trying to find out family members, that sort of thing from him. And I says, well, has he passed away? They wouldn't tell me, but it wasn't hard to figure out. Well, as it turns out, he was. He had left that place, went to drive to his night spot, actually drove there, turned off the engine, put it in park, and died. He must have been there to like a couple of days when a worker noticed him going to work, sitting there, and then when they got off work he was still there. That's when they called to the authorities, and he was dead at the door now. This man should have got medical care, but he had to make a choice between eating and gas for his motorhome because he couldn't afford a place, or food. I know of a little guy named Murray, lived in a school bus. He was schizophrenic, paranoia, trusted no one. But he trusted me. I don't know how he got home from me, but he did. Next thing I know, I got social services calling me. He'd been giving out my number as emergency contact. I finally convinced him to go to a nursing home. I will not tell you what was physically the matter with him to protect his privacy, but to say it was terminal. He went to, the day he went, he actually went to the hospital. I get a call, I go there. They're just wanting to release him, transfer him to another hospital, so that's the one he dealt with, and I says, no, that's not happening. He's here, you gotta deal with him. You gotta find a nursing home for him, or something. You can't just admit him out into the street. And mind you, this is real late at night. They finally did. He went there, he was there 3 days when I get a call. They took him to the hospital. He was in the hospital for 3 days. They went to re-admit him. I get a call at 12 o'clock at night saying there's paperwork that needs to be signed. They want me to sign it. So I go there and I sign the papers, and I says, well, give him whatever pain medication the doctors will give him. I went to go upstairs where he was at, because this thing was more than one story high. And they said, are you Linda Ewald? I says, yeah. Well, they had to take him back, and I looked, and I took one look at him, and I knew. And I says, well, he ain't coming back. He was admitted, he was in ICU, and there was no hope for him. First, the doctors didn't want to talk to me, and I says, he's already given permission to tell me anything medically with this gentleman. So he told me They had him on life support. I asked him about turning it off, and they said the problem was, and he had backtracked, he had wanted to sign papers giving me leeway to make his decisions. But at the time I refused, because I kept trying to tell him, I can't take care of you, I am not going to take care of you, I am done doing that kind of stuff. I'm burned out. My husband had only been gone for 4 or 5 months. I said, I'm burned out, I can't do it. You need, because I was telling him, you need to go to nursing home because I will not take care of you. And I know that sounds cruel, but frankly, I was burnt out. I was doing CNA work for there was ever such a CNA. I was one of the first people, a group of people back in the 70s when they first passed the law to be certified. I have worked nursing homes, psych wards, private duty, one time even ICU, acute hospitals, pretty much done it all. And used to, when I worked, I usually preferred nursing home, and I've seen more people die. I've probably seen, because I used to be able to go in, and if I could be in that patient's room at the moment of death, I was cool with that because I had a thing about my patients dying alone. And I was known to argue and fight with management over my patients. Yeah, I was known for it big time. And my husband had gotten, my cousin's mother-in-law got ill, so I was taking care of her on the weekend. Then my husband got ill. I had gotten really attached to my cousin's mother-in-law. Rule number 1, you don't get attached to your patients, but I did. She passed away. 24 hours later, I lost my husband. I got burned out. I knew I could not go into another patient's room with them passing. Used to, I could go in there, they'd pass, I'd get them, and I would clean their bodies, head to toe. I'd have them looking nice. I don't know how many times when the morgue would come by to pick up the bodies, would comment on how nice they looked. Families coming to visit their loved ones just, when they were passing, would comment how nice they looked. Or coming to see the body after death, would comment how nice it looked. And I can go eat, and I was fine. I'd done my job. But I knew I couldn't do that anymore. So back to that old man, what they told me was, when I explained to him he had no family, he had no friends, I says he doesn't trust anybody. I says I am his only friend. I am the only one in the world that he trusts. Now, he lived in a bus. When he went to that hospital site, he wasn't in that hospital except to go to a nursing home. He took out his pink slip to his bus, signed it for me to sell for him, which I did. He refused to take the money, and when he passed, the hospital called me and says, well, we know you weren't trying to get his money, because I've gone in there seeing if they can get somebody to be covership over him, and it would have cost way too much money. So it was kind of a deal where I got stuck with it. When he passed, they gave me his belongings. In there was like $2,000, his credit cards. And this is what you guys need to be aware of. When I called his credit card companies to turn off his cards, I expected them to tell me I needed to send them a copy of the death certificate. No. They just asked me my name and phone number, turned it off. The only one who did it was the bank. When I went in there personally, and they says, well, we can't just close it. What we can do is put a freeze on it. When you show us the death certificate, then we can close the account. If you can provide paperwork, witnesses saying you took care of this man, we can turn the money over to you. But he says, you want to do that before the state of California gets over it. And I says, I don't want his money. Now, I went to call them. And they told me they could not turn his, I had the place to have him cremated, everything. All I needed the state to do, and I had his money. I had the money to pay for it. It was his money, but I had the money to pay for it, right? They refused. I says, he has no family. I understand. And we argued, so I said to him, I said, you mean to tell me, even when you can't not find any family, you still can't turn his body over to me? Instead, you're going to have mom and pop taxpayer have to pay for it. I said, is that what you're telling me? And she basically said, pretty much. I said, there's something wrong with that. And I said, okay. So here I was stuck with his $2,000. I went ahead and kept it. I'm sorry. He wanted me to have it, and he even told, apparently he told the nursing home that I was the only person he trusted, that he didn't have money for an attorney, he had no family, and what little he had, he wanted me to have it. Well, my idea of what to do with that money was to get the man buried, for Christ's sakes. And this is what happens when you're homeless. They are harassed. The policy in San Diego is when they catch them at the night spot, they are first given a warning. When the cop comes 3 days later, they're given a ticket. The third time, they just take them to jail for being homeless. Because apparently in our country, it is okay, it is a crime to be homeless. If somebody chooses to be homeless. Another story, I call him my little Bob, was a man who has served his country, fought Vietnam War, retired from the military, also living in a motorhome. I tried desperately to get him to go to this program, but he had been in the streets for so many years, he just really couldn't get off. And I promised him when he passed I would take his dog. Now, nobody had notified me. I found out for somebody else that he had passed. So I missed his funeral the whole bit, probably due to his strange wife. But I says, what happened to the dog? I made a promise to him about the dog. So she's got, what happened to the dog? And he said the wife said she was going to keep it. I said, okay, I gave my number and I said, you tell her she can't keep that dog. You call me, because I made a promise to her husband that I'd take care of this dog after he was gone. And she did. We knew each other. They had been estranged. They just never got divorced. I think she still had family, but she wasn't threatened by me, because she kind of knew her husband and I. We were close, almost like we were brothers and sisters. It would have seemed like incest for us to ever get together. And those are the kind of stories that happen when the people are homeless. One guy, I can't remember his name. He was dying and he knew it, was homeless. His daughter did not know that he was homeless. He was homeless just 2 years, managed to keep it a secret, and went down to go to J Street Marina, and that's where he died. And they found his body. I give the family credit, because when they decided to do the memorial, they realized he had made friends out there among the homeless, and that the homeless had a right to mourning too. So they had a memorial service at the park with food. For him. And I see people show up. I guess he used to belong to this biker club. A bunch of them showed up. Homeless people. I was there. His daughter was there. When I asked him why he didn't let his daughter know, he said that she had a horse that he was paying for, that she loved, and that if she found out, she'd want to sell the horse, so he would have to pay for it to get him to a place, and he didn't want that. And I told her, your dad loved you a lot, and he just didn't want you worrying or fretting, and that's why he never told you. But know that he did love you. He just didn't want you to know he was homeless. He didn't want you worrying about him. He didn't want you giving up your horse. Because that's what he did with his money. All his money went to his teenage daughter. Child support to the mother, but the extras, they had no idea. One of the things the cops, in Chula Vista, they used to have this church. Once a week, they went down there and they would feed them. Cops didn't like that at all. They harassed them and harassed them, the organization. Said, oh, well, you got to have this kind of license, so they get this kind of license. oh no, they gotta have food. Anything they could do to harass them.
What you up to?
A buggy. A buggy. And they finally gave up. I mean, that church spent a lot of money trying to fight this. The only place I know is a Catholic church down there. Cops can't do nothing there because it's at their church. It's considered private property. And that's basically what they shoot. They try to attack their food source. And for some of them, that was the only food they would get. I've seen them try to eat out of trash cans. They will collect bottles in order to get money. What have you. Anyways, I'm going to attach that video I did earlier today to the end of this. And I know this is an unusual vlog. It just pisses me off every time I see them do it. And I don't know what the answer, I don't think we'll ever solve homelessness. There's just not enough housing, enough support system. Reagan decided he was going to save taxpayers money and he was going to close down a lot of mental hospitals. People thought that was great. What they didn't realize or take into account was what was going to happen to these people who were in there. Well, the doors were open and they were just told, sorry, we're closed, bye-bye. They really can't function in society. They're not capable of holding they can't be trusted taking their meds because if they take their meds, they start to be feeling good. They say, oh, I don't need it, I don't have to take it, and then the problems re-arise. So every year I go to this church during their Christmas thing. Every year they give out sleeping bags, which I don't need, but I grab one. Boyfriend grabs one. The next day I'm out there finding a homeless person to give it to. Unfortunately, I can't do much more. I can't. Here you see them taking some more of their stuff. They took a person's walker. Their walker, mind you. And now they're fixing to destroy it. This is a walker that they picked. Somebody made one of the homeless had. And they're putting it in the truck. They're not supposed to do that. That person should be able to go get their walker. But of course they can't. I know this is different from diamond painting, but I felt like this should come out exactly what the Alpha Project is doing. If you want to know about the Alpha Project, just put the alphaproject.com and they'll give you a song and dance on how they're helping the homeless and getting them housed.
They do.
And I'm not saying they don't. But the main thing is just really just harass them. There they go. There goes. Bye-bye, walker. Let's destroy the walker. They're so engrossed in destroying their stuff that they don't even realize I'm filming them.
Who's coming? Who's over there? Is that Drake? Where's Drake? Where's Big Drake at, huh?
Anyways, I just thought you guys should know. Happy diamond painting, and I'll see you next time.